Hi, a delicious pot roast dinner made in under 5 hours in the oven. Keep watching and I'll show you how to make this. This beef is tender, made with a chuck roast, it melts in your mouth. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I don't know how you found me, but I'm happy you're here. Channel on YouTube where a person who doesn't want to cook, doesn't like to cook, doesn't have time to cook, but loves delicious, high flavored foods. Now I'm going to show you how to make a beef chuck roast. Now I've got a 3.16 pound chuck roast, and technically it cooks for 1 hour per pound. I'm going to braise it, so I've got saran wrap and foil. And I've got a packet of Italian seasoning I'm going to be using. I'm going to use beef broth. And I'm going to use some Moscato wine, about half a cup. Now you can use all water, you can use beer. I had a girlfriend in college that only put beer on her roast when she cooked it, and it didn't taste like beer, and it was absolutely delicious. I'm going to use some Worcestershire sauce. I've got 1 onion, garlic powder, a couple bay leaves, some S𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿 seasoning, some onion powder, some black pepper. I've got 1 packet of brown gravy mix because I like mine kind of thick, the broth that it cooks in. I've got some whole carrots, and I've got some potatoes. You're welcome to add onions, parsnips, any other root vegetables that you like. I'm going to cook this for about 3.5 to 4 hours, but I'm going to add the potatoes and carrots last so they won't be very mushy. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. You know I like to upload 2 videos a week and always include an inspirational quote, tell a controversial joke. And those that know me know I almost 90% have to season my protein the night before. So I will not be cooking this tonight. I'll be cooking it tomorrow in that pan, and I made it deep because I want to make sure I get my vegetables in there and I don't want it to overrun in my oven. So I'm going to get everything set up, turn the camera around so we can season this meat. I'm going to put it in a plastic bag in the refrigerator for a minimum of 12 hours and come back tomorrow and show you how to get this in the oven. So let me put you on pause. Let's get cooking. Okay guys, so as you can see, I washed it, cleaned it, dried it off. This is a big hunk of meat, so you really have to season it well or it'll be bland. So I'm going to use S𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿, and a lot of times, most of the 90% of the time I use seasoning salt. And I forgot to tell you guys, I'm going to use some adobo seasoning. This has salt in it, so this will be my salt component. I'm going to use black pepper. I'm going to season both sides pretty heavily. I'm going to use garlic powder. I was going to use fresh garlic, and then I got lazy. Like I said, this is the channel for showing you how to make good, delicious tasting foods without a lot of work. But if you have fresh garlic and you want to use garlic, go right ahead. You can smash up some cloves. Just want to make sure that's covered. And let this sit for 24 hours. I'm going to sear it. You don't have to, but my plan tomorrow is to sear this. Don't worry, I'm going to wash these off with Clorox wipes because I am touching these after touching raw meat. So keep everything sanitary. Those that know me know that I'm a nurse, and I try and keep everything clean as possible. There's the onion powder. Just going back over with all the same seasonings and the garlic powder. I'm going to add the Italian seasoning that I showed you in the gravy mix later. That is something I have to show you how to do after the roast is pretty much cooked. And I'm going to add the carrots in later because I don't want them to be too mushy. And those of you that know me know I like my vegetables well overcooked. But I got lucky. I haven't made a roast in 30 years. My husband will not eat roast. He thinks it's disgusting. The texture. So I've had a lady at work, I work in the ER, who said she loved roast and she would take half of this roast off my hands for me. So it's Monday. I work Wednesday. I'm going to cook it tomorrow, Tuesday, and take it to work. And she and I are going to split this, which I am so thankful. Thank you, Denise. So you see, I've got the roast pretty seasoned. Looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put this in a Ziploc bag and meet you guys back tomorrow. And we're going to sear it in a skillet and then get this in the oven and let it go about 3.5 hours to 4 hours. But I'm not going to add the vegetables till after 2.5 hours. So have a good evening, you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, everybody, I'm back. It's been about 16 hours. Don't kill me. I do have a mallet. So I decided to hit this bad boy a couple times with the mallet. Like I said, this is a chuck roast. It's a very, very, very tough piece of meat, and you have to cook it low and slow to break down the connective tissue. So I figure since I had the mallet, I might as well use it. My hands are clean. I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna turn the camera around, and I'm gonna sear it. The reason I'm gonna sear it is because when I put it in this pan and add all the juice and the liquid, if you don't sear it, it'll wash off everything on the top of it. But by me marinating it overnight, mine has soaked in. But you don't have to do that either. If you don't have time to marinate, season, put it in there. But you want to pour all your juice and your broth and everything around it. You don't want to rinse this off. Let me turn the camera around and let's fry this up right quick. Okay, my skillet's on kind of high. I'm going to add a knob of butter. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. And I just want to get a really good crust on this. Have this up on pretty high. I think you guys will really like this recipe. And just so you know, like I said, I haven't cooked pot roast in 30 years, and I absolutely love it. So to tell you what I do, I go to Bob Evans. If you've ever been to Bob Evans and you have Bob Evans in your area, they make the most delicious pot roast in my book. It comes with potatoes. It comes with carrots and onions. But I don't like the way they cut the onions, but you get a side of mashed potatoes, and the gravy is absolutely to die for. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to replicate here. So that's how I get my roast, because my husband will not eat it. I've tried a couple times. I even once put barbecue sauce on it, because that's usually the sneaky way to get him, is put barbecue sauce on anything. And I can get him to try it, because he's one of those people that doesn't even like to try foods. So I just want this to get really, really hot. Get a good sear on this. I'm just going to sear it on both sides, and then put it in the pan and show you how I wrap it, because I'm going to braise it. The oven is set to 325. It is now 4:46 in the evening. So hopefully this will be all set by 9 o'clock. I got my girlfriend Denise, who's at work, who's already texted me. And I told her I just went to the dollar store and bought a container to put her roast in, because she's going to help me eat this. Oh yeah, it's hot. It's pretty big there. Hear the sizzle. You don't want to touch it. You want it to get really, really seared really well. And what I'm going to also do, because I'm really picky about my onions, like I told you, I've already cut up that entire onion, and I like it in slices. I don't like it in chunks. Only way I like it in chunks is like in tuna fish or spaghetti or something like that. So if it's something like this, I want it sliced. And I'm going to go ahead and cook the onions in this skillet to get us the last of the bits and the delicious flavor that this meat is going to leave. And plus, I don't mind if the onions disintegrate and become part of the gravy. But I'm going to cook it for at least 2 hours before I add the potatoes and the carrots. Because those that know me, welcome back. You know I like my vegetables well overcooked. I'm so grateful you guys are watching my channel. And just to let you know, I just got monetized. That should be happening. I got a letter from YouTube. Now I can start getting paid for my videos, even though you guys know I do it for a hobby. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you guys watch me. I just really, really, really love to eat, but I do not like to cook, so this is killing me. That's why it's almost 5, and I'm just cooking this because I'm off today, and I have to work tomorrow. So I'm going to let this sear for a minute, turn it over and show you what it looks like, and then we'll get it in the pan. Okay, can you guys see the crust on that? I'm going to let the other side get a little bit darker. And I just wanted to show you, yeah, you definitely want to sear it. And like I said, that make sure all your seasoning is stuck to the meat. And this pan is pretty much kind of too small. And if you're more daring than myself, you want to do it on all 4 sides, get all the corners and everything too. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sear it on both sides and throw it in the pan. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I took the chuck roast out. I'm just going to saute these onions just for a few minutes, get some color on them, and soften them up, because I don't want to put them in like this. And plus, I don't want to waste all this good flavor on the bottom of the skillet from cooking the chuck roast. You know, my channel is all about elevating flavors. I like my food highly seasoned. I cannot eat bland food. I can do just salt and pepper, but I'm one of those people that take seasoning salt in my purse. I know I'm over 60. I'm not quite old enough to carry hot sauce yet, but you never know with me. So I added a little bit more butter and some olive oil. I'm cooking this on high, and I'm just going to cook these for a while and get them pretty much done. And I'm going to throw them in at the same time as I put the chuck roast in the oven. Okay, I've cooked the onions. As you see, I didn't cook them too far down, but I did cook them to get, like I said, the main reason was I didn't want to waste all the good flavor in the bottom of the skillet. And plus, I don't like super raw onions. So next, now these are optional. You don't have to add a half a cup of red wine, but I have it. I do not drink wine, but it's like an upscale version of pot roast. And I'm using the Italian seasoning. I'm going to use 1 packet of it and put this on it. See, this will help season my vegetables and stuff too, because you know the meat is already highly seasoned. And I'm going to use a bay leaf, broke, a couple dashes of Worcestershire, because I love it. And you can use water. Like I said, beer, you don't need any of this. You can use straight water. Now, if you didn't season your meat overnight and sear it, I would not pour this over the top, because you'll rinse off every bit of your seasoning. But see, mine is seared, so it doesn't matter. And you just want to barely cover this, because it's going to braise. Okay. I'm going to mix my onions down in there. I want to make sure they cook. Okay, so there you have it. So the next thing you do to braise it, because it needs to cook low and slow. And when you cover it with just foil, you lose a lot of moisture. So what the chefs do, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to double cover it. I'm going to cover it in plastic wrap, and I'm going to cover it in foil. This is to make sure that none of the moisture escapes from this, to make sure that it braises in itself. Just going to double cover this with the cling wrap, saran wrap, whatever you want to call it. I think saran wrap is a brand name, but I'm sure it is. That's why over in Europe they call it cling wrap. I'm just going to make sure that's tightly covered. This will ensure that none of the moisture gets out. That way you don't have to worry about cooking on top of the stove. You have to keep checking it, because your broth could cook down and overcook. I mean, it'll run out and your meat will be dry. So I'm just going to make sure I put foil on top of this, double foil, and then put this in the oven. And like I said, I'm going to go 2 hours. Most people go 3 if you don't like really soft vegetables, and then let the last hour cook your root vegetables, your parsnips, your carrots, like I said, your potatoes or anything like that. So you say I have it totally covered. I'm going to put this in the oven, meet you guys back in 2 hours. Okay, I'm going to take this out. The timer is going to go off in about 7 seconds. In exactly 2 hours. There it goes. Now I have my potatoes soaking in water. I'm going to drain those. And let's pray I have enough. I'm the one that steals all the potatoes and the carrots out of the roast if you let me get to it first. Because this is really the only way I like my carrots. I don't like crudité. When people bring in those trays with vegetables and ranch dip and all that, I don't get the carrots. I don't like hard, crunchy carrots. It's really hot. Take this off. Try and use it again. If I can't, I have more foil. Okay, saran wrap came with it. Make a mess on my stove. Okay. Now at this point, I'm going to add the 1 packet of brown gravy mix, because to show you, I'm going to taste it too. Let me give it a little taste. It's kind of hot. Perfect. Not salty at all. This is where I add the brown gravy mix. This will tighten up the broth or the juice that this is in, because I want it kind of thick. Now that package is for 1 cup, but I'm using it for what you see. This is more like 4 cups, and it tightens it up really well. So I'm hoping this will be just enough to get it tight. Scoop the rest of the onions off. This has only been cooking 2 hours, but it still feels tough. I'm going to nestle potatoes and carrots. This is 3 potatoes. I may have cut too many, but I'd rather have too many than not enough. And the carrots down into the broth. And like I said, I'm cooking mine 2 hours. Most recipes tell you don't add the carrots and potatoes until 1 hour for final cooking time. But like I said, your girl likes them well cooked. So we're going 2 hours on the potatoes and carrots. See how I'm putting those down in there. Let's see this. That's the last potato. I get as many down in the broth as I can. That's why I'm adding them early for this reason alone. And my saran wrap has totally lost its mind. So let me put you on pause and get some more saran wrap. Okay, you see I had to use completely new saran wrap, which is fine. So I'm going to use one piece of this foil that I've already used. The other one, the saran wrap stuck to it. And so then I'll tear off another piece of foil and cover it again really tightly. We're going to go another 2 hours. I know I told you 1 hour per pound. It was 3 pounds, 0.16 ounces. But it still feels tough to me. And I'd rather it be super tender and juicy as opposed to a little tough. So put you guys back on pause. See you back in a couple hours. Don't forget, I always tell you a joke. I try and upload 2 videos a week and I always include an inspirational quote with the joke, and I'll show you the final product. I have some parsley slices to pop on top of this too. I'm telling you, the broth tastes delicious. You got to give this a try. And like I said, if you want to omit the wine, or you want to try bread, do that. Or if you just don't have anything, just use water. As long as you season it properly and heavily, it should be delicious. So I'll see you back in a little bit. Hey everyone, here it is after 4.5 hours. As you see, it is tender. It pulls apart basically. Trying to get a good piece up. See how it just comes apart? It's super tender. This is after 4.5 hours. You don't want to go really, really long. It'll be stringy, but that doesn't bother me as long as it's tender. See how it breaks apart if you pull on it. So I'm going to turn the camera around and tell you guys my joke. This is absolutely delicious. I can smell it throughout my house. See, my potatoes are pretty soft. My carrots have a little bit of texture, but they're soft. I don't like any bite to them. And I put the gravy pack in there, as you see. I wish it would have been a little thicker. So if you make one this size, definitely add 2 packs of that brown gravy mix that I had. That'll make it a little thicker. But thanks for watching. God bless. And let me set up and tell you guys my joke. Okay, guys, let me tell you guys my joke. A lady goes to her priest one day and tells him, "Father, I have a problem. I have 2 female parrots, but they only know how to say one thing." "What do they say?" "They say, 'Hi, we're prostitutes. Want to have some fun?'" The woman says, embarrassed, "How obscene." The priest thinks for a minute and says, "Okay, the solution to this problem. I have 2 male parrots whom I've taught to pray and read the Bible. Bring the 2 parrots over to my house and we'll put them in the cage together with Francis and Job. My parents can teach your parrots to worship God. I'm sure your parrots will stop saying these obscenities in no time. Thank you, Father," the lady says gratefully. The next day she brings her female parrots to the priest's house. And as he ushers them in, she sees the 2 male parrots inside their cage, holding rosary beads and praying. Very impressed, she walks over and places her parrots in with them. After a couple of seconds, the female parrots exclaim, "Hi, we're prostitutes. Want to have some fun?" One male parrot looks over at the other and says, "Put the beads away, Francis. Our prayers have been answered." Thought that was pretty funny. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And like I said, there's many ways to cook a roast. Just wanted to show you my way. And you have to cook it a long time to break down the connective tissue. That's what makes it long cooking. If you cook it too short or too fast, it will be tough. It's a super tough cut of meat. And you can use chuck roast, brisket, a shoulder. Those are really tough pieces of meat. And that roast cost me about $25 for 3 pounds. So thanks for watching. God bless. Hope to see you on the next one, and have a good evening.